sessions feel so right. Insanity's dams we all embrace. A smile found on every face. Dave's Dimension, here we roam. A place where minds can freely comb. Second toys blend in the fray. Superheroes light the way. Dave's Dimension, here we roam. A place where minds can freely comb. Second toys blend in the fray. Superheroes light the way. Unbox the wonder, see them shine. Every spark a moment in time. Gadgets speaking in mystic tones. Dave's world where the unknown's known. Chaos reigns with vibrant glee. Insanity's harmony set us free. From gadgets grand to heroes tall. Dave's Dimension answers the call. Dive deep into the pixel sea. Unveil secrets so free. With techniques the fantastic sprawl. Dave's name echoes in the hall. Dave's Dimension, here we roam. A place where minds can freely comb. Second toys blend in the fray. Superheroes light the way. Dave's Dimension, here we roam. A place where minds can freely comb. Step into Dave's Dimension so wild, where chaos rules and sanity's exiled. Tech toys and gadgets fill the air. Superheroes talk without a care. In this realm of wires and might, late night sessions feel so right. Insanity's dams we all embrace. A smile found on every face. Dave's Dimension, here we roam. A place where minds can freely comb. Second toys blend in the fray. Superheroes light the way. Dave's Dimension, here we roam. A place where minds can freely comb. Second toys blend in the fray. Superheroes light the way. Unbox the wonder, see them shine. Every spark a moment in time. Gadgets speaking in mystic tones. Dave's world where the unknown's known. Chaos reigns with vibrant glee. Insanity's harmony set us free. From gadgets grand to heroes tall. Dave's Dimension answers the call. Dive deep into the pixel sea. Unveil secrets so free. With techniques the fantastic sprawl. Dave's name echoes in the hall.
Welcome back again to Tuesday Night Talks, guys. Welcome back again to Dave's Dimension. Welcome back again to your channel that is your home for tech, toys, and talk. And, of course, the channel where chaos and insanity will always reign supreme. We're trying something a little different tonight. I hope you guys like it. We're also streaming on TikTok and YouTube at the same time, trying a few new things. So I hope everyone's doing good tonight. We got a lot of craziness. It's conspiracy theory night. Let's just go with that. But I want to say hello to everybody in the chat. Yeah, I know it caused 2 separate streams tonight. I had to figure out something. I'm using Streamlabs solely for launching the streams and also for streaming. And this should also be going on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube. So we'll see what happens. I want to say hello to Ultra Cardazilla talking about some of his pickups. I wish, yeah, he says, I wish WWE gave you the rights to Bobby Roode's Glorious. Hey, everyone's got their own themes, their own intros, their own things to go on. We have Nerd Affiliate saying, yo, we have the Peaky Arrow Productions saying, let's go. And Baz from Dark Lycan saying, hey, Dave in chat. Sorry, guys, cough. Sinuses and allergies. Murder on the sinuses. Ultra Carzillo is talking about some of the pickups he has and some of the cool stuff he has coming through the pipeline. We got Duffman's Diorama in the chat. Saying hello to Dave. Hello to Ultra Carzilla. Everybody saying hello to everybody else. Now, I know we're not going to get a lot of We're not going to get a lot of traffic tonight. I know that for a fact, guys. There's a lot of other streams going on. Tuesday nights are becoming bigger and bigger. There's so many people that are streaming on Tuesday nights now that it's just making it more difficult for us to get some traffic. But we're still going to roll with it. Tuesday night talks will always be a thing. And by the way, if anyone wants to join the stream, I'm actually using Collab Cam. So if you want to, just click the link at the top of the chat and join us. Excuse me. The intro is still playing for something. There we go. I don't like how YouTube has been doing things lately. Their servers have been a little goofy. Come on, that's not what I want. There we go. Real time. Real time, real talk. There we go. So I hope everyone's doing good. Yeah, I'm doing the intermission thing because we've got some stuff to talk about when it comes to the main live screen that we'll be doing in a little bit. But what do you guys think of the layout? I've been really digging Streamlabs lately because for literally under $20, I have access to Talk Studio, where I've been doing the streams the past several weeks. I have access to all their overlays. So if I'm doing game streams, which by the way, I am going to be doing some game streams very soon, guys, so stay tuned to that. But we have a lot coming through, a lot of toys. There's a lot of interactive stuff you can use, but also depends on your system and also what you're trying to do with your system, your internet connection, and all that good stuff. But we're going to talk about other things. Duffman says, Dave, I have one Marty McFly and Einstein in my hands. Are you still interested? Of course I'm interested. Duffman says, our cable house phone and internet has been out from 8 a.m. until 6 this evening. It must be Spectrum. Who knows? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's Uverse. I don't know. We got Trey saying, yo. We got David's Life popping through this chat. And by the way, guys, again, if anyone wants to pop through the stream, we have the link at the top of the chat. Just go ahead and click it and jump in. We're going to be using Collab Cam a little bit later. But we have a lot to talk about. As you guys can see, the name of the stream, are there parts of Hasbro that want to fail? I put wants to fail. That's kind of, I was talking with actually Dre, the Collector Safe Space, who's in the chat right now. So please hello. Say hello and give him a follow on Instagram. And also he's got the Dre, the Collector Safe Space Facebook group as well. Go ahead and give him a follow. But guys, as of late, now you guys know me, I'm a big Ghostbusters fan. I mean, well, you can't see right now, but I have proton packs off to the side. No, we won't move the camera around. That camera's a little sketchy. Oh, definitely says it is Spectrum for sure. Hey, I worked for them for 9 years. I know how janky some of the stuff can be. But he says Spectrum, Skynet, same thing, pretty much. Yeah, And we got Rolando, the multiversal moderator, in the chat. Hey, Rolando, I hope you're doing well. Hope you're feeling good, bro. Now, let's just go ahead and skip over. So here we are. Yeah, I'm getting all fancy with the backgrounds and everything. Nice little transition, right? So here's the thing. We got a lot going on. Now, earlier today, the HasLab team, Plasma Series, they did a little video with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Ernie Hudson, the heart and soul of the Ghostbusters. I know people look at me sideways for saying that, but I mean, he was, Ernie Hudson, Ghostbusters, and he was at Rhode Island Comic Con. Apparently, they filmed a little thing here where they got to show him, Ecto 1A and Ecto 1, part of the HasLab. Now, you can either get either one of these, basically. You can get the deluxe, or you can get the regular one, which is Ecto 1, which is off to the left, right here, right? So you can do that. Let me actually fix this. I'm going to fix this real quick. There you go. So we got the chat going on right there. I'm going to fix this another day and time, but don't worry, guys. So, but they have that. Let me actually shrink myself. No. Yep, I'm going there. So with this right here, they're showing this off, but honestly, I think Ernie was just kind of exhausted. Because if you guys check this out yourself, Ernie was like, he was looking at it, he was analyzing it, and he really, I hate to say this, he didn't have a lot of enthusiasm, but what I think the fact is, you're showing this off at a con, right? You're showing this off at a con, but, an actor who, obviously, when they're at a con, they're being pulled in so many different directions. They're just, maybe, his energy's running low. I mean, with all respect, he's no spring chicken. But, when you see he's wearing his coat, obviously he's either on his way out or his way in. He was either coming and going. And I think, honestly, maybe he was feeling a little run down. He didn't have all the energy that you normally see him when he's doing social media, when he's on a talk show, when he's engaging with fans. We don't see the energy that is usually there. So, honestly, this video really didn't do a whole lot for the HasLab itself. I mean, Ernie's there, obviously we're not going to have any sound on here, but, he's just kind of like standing there, kind of like nodding, like, yeah, it was good times. How he talks about they asked him what was one of his favorite times driving the Ecto, and, he says, well, it's in the first movie when it's him and Dan, Dan Aykroyd. And here they're showing off a little bit of video here, how this is the amount of detail that they have in the Ecto 1, okay? They really went all out here, and you guys have heard me say, I want this Ecto. I want this for my collection. I mean, you got details for the engine on the inside. Look at all the lights you have going on for Ecto 1A and Ecto 1. I mean, that right there, and the fact that if you go for the deluxe one, you could swap it out from Ecto 1 or Ecto 1A, and you could do it a couple times. You can't do it indefinitely, because apparently the decals, or however they're going to be removable, reapplicable, but over time that won't be the case. So, or who knows, maybe they give you several sets of stickers. We don't know for sure, but they get some amazing details, all these figures, and I just think that maybe he was feeling a little bit run down from being at a con, because anyone who's ever been to a con, it can sap the energy out of you, let alone someone who's in his 70s. Someone who's battled cancer, not once, but twice. He's still a picture of health. He's always worked out. He looks ripped for someone his age. But the thing is, honestly, the HasLab itself, the numbers have not been pumping. I mean, he's just, he's casually talking, and, I just think that he was, maybe the con was running him down. Maybe, he was a little bit low in energy. Who knows? He could have been on his way to lunch, guys, His blood sugar could have been down for any number of reasons. And I'm not faulting the HasLab team at all for this. I just think that for some reason, things have not been going that great for the HasLab team this year. Not specifically for, Emily or Zach or anyone else who's involved with the HasLabs. Tuna Box is going to be supposed to be shipping out within the next week or two. A lot of people all over social media are going crazy for it. Let's just take a look at the chat here. We got Kat in the chat. We got Kat, Vader's girl. Peaky Arrow saying, wait, you like Ghostbusters? I never knew that. Inquiring minds want to know. And the more you know. There you go. Rolando saying hello to Arch Colzilla. Duffman said, we had 2 trucks in the driveway today, and they had to put some kind of new box up on the telephone pole. Yep. That'll probably maybe a new transformer, maybe a new hub, because they will split those coaxial lines to multiple homes. So yeah, it's probably something like that. Excuse me. I got 4 Hot Toys out of the pawn shop today. 2 Predators, John Wick, and Marty and Einstein. Awesome. Uh, Archer says, "Good point, Dave. Dude's 80, and they're asking him to do this." Yeah, but I mean, he can, he can put on the moves. He's still got the energy. I mean, anyone that saw the 2 seasons of the rebooted Quantum Leap saw, he was not slowing down. He was staying pretty busy. But I just think that it's the weekend. You're at a con. You're meeting thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people. So, that's going to wear you down talking with people. And then, like, you're on a break, maybe, which it definitely looked like he was wearing his coat. Definitely looked like he might have been on a break. Let me see if I can fix the camera a little bit. Let me see. There we go. Let's see. We'll do that. I got to get a new camera really bad. I really do. Screw it. We'll just leave it like that. So that's the thing. It's, I think that he just wasn't his fully energetic self. Everyone has bad days, but the fact that, they're talking to him and, obviously, he thinks anything for the fandom. Well, anything for the fandom, anything that helps keep everything alive, he's all for it. And trust me, I want this Ecto really bad, but the numbers are saying a different story. Let's go to the numbers right here. Okay, our goal is 12,000. I think by December 2nd, we're at 9,276. You might say, hey, those are not bad numbers. Those are not great numbers. The Proton Pack itself was already funded within like the first, week or so, I think. So there was that. But the fact of the matter is, guys, is what I think since yesterday, only one person, maybe 1 or 2 orders have gone through. After the launch of that video, 1 order went through. That was it. The needle is not moving. It is essentially stalled. For lack of better wording, it has stalled. I want this to fund. I want this Proton Pack. Or not the Proton Pack. I want this Ecto. Okay? I mean, any Ghostbuster fan would love to have this in their collection, but there's several factors. Storage space. You need space to put that Ecto. It's like 22 point something inches long, so it's almost 23 inches long. That's like 2 rulers right there. It's a pretty long car, right? And this year has been the year of the cars. We've all talked about it on our streams. I know Archer's talked about it. There's a lot of people who've talked about it. And I'll be honest, it does not look good. I mean, we have 13 more days. 13 days, 4 hours, 30 minutes, 41 seconds, if you want to really go that route. A lot of the Ghostbuster community is, let's say, divided. Okay, for lack of better wording, they are divided. The fact of the matter is, a lot of Ghostbuster fans are cosplayers. They love props. This is not a prop per se. This is, it's a play set, if you will. And, I mean, there's people who, over the past 20 years, because back in the 2000s, there was a little resurgence in Ghostbusters, not counting the 80s Kenner lines, but we had the Matty Collector. We had the Diamond Select line of Ghostbusters. Now we've had Plasma Series. Plasma Series is kind of stalled. This HasLab is going to, if this succeeds, it's going to be a boost in the arm. It's going to be a shot in the arm to keep that line potentially going. But the fact of the matter is, we're not seeing a lot of promotions. If this was, let's say this was G.I. Joe, okay? Let's say it was G.I. Joe Classified Series. They made mock commercials of, they did like a mock transmission of Cobra, interfering with the transmissions and the advertisements for the Sky Striker. They had a Cobra takeover. They had alternate decals that you could take a Sky Striker, make it seem like it was a stolen Sky Striker, and make it a Cobra Sky Striker. I mean, they did a lot of very creative things. Where is that creativity with Hasbro right now? That's what I'm getting at, okay? let's take a look at several things. Okay, it's been almost 2 years, not counting this HasLab. It's been 2 years since we've had a Plasma series, which is the Ghostbusters line of action figures. It's been almost 2 years. That's no bueno. Okay, that makes you think that a line is dead. Most collectors are going to think, wait a minute, they haven't come out with anything in over a year and a half, now 2 years. Excuse me. That makes you think that a line is dead. Now let's take a look at Power Rangers. They had the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. Originally, you had Bandai was the brand to manufacture the toys when it came to Lightning Collection or to Power Rangers per se or anything Power Rangers. And then Hasbro got their hands on it. It seemed like, hey, they're gonna reinvigorate the fan base. And for a couple years, they had some pretty good figures, but they've been plagued by QC issues, bad paint apps, bad imaging of the faces. Some of the faces look terrible. They look like really bad cartoons. Okay, and the fact of the matter is, Lightning Collection is effectively dead. There's no more live action Power Rangers TV shows. Okay, there's one or two loose projects in the mix. Like there's talk of an animation, nothing confirmed. There's a lot of hearsay. There's a lot of fan wish fulfillment. If you want more serious information, more reliable information, I'm gonna refer you guys to channels and content creators like Ranger Restoration, MMPR Toys, Henry Resilient. Those are the three that I would recommend if you're looking for Power Ranger news or anything that's reliable stuff, information that is vetted and verified and not hearsayed, like certain other content creators out there we will not name. If you want more definitive information, go check out those channels and those creators. I highly recommend you check them out. But when it comes down to it, Power Rangers is effectively dead, except for a few lines in the Boom comics. So if you're a comic book fan, Power Rangers was very much alive. But outside of that, the toy lines are dead. I mean, as of right now, Hasbro has effectively leased their license for Power Rangers out to Playmates. Playmates, better known for, they've done some reissues of the Star Trek The Next Generation figures that they did way back in the 90s. Of course, Playmates, better known for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle lines and a few others. Right now, they are the ones who have the license for Power Rangers. But let's face it, Playmates isn't always known for, I don't want to say photorealistic toys, but they're more for kiddie toys. And I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to get toys that are aimed at like 12 and under, which for the adult fans, that's a big put off. So a lot of people have actually been selling their Power Ranger toys, their Power Ranger collections. I'm one of them. Yeah, you heard me. I actually sold my Zap Megazord, my Mighty Morphin Power Ranger Megazord, the Zap, which was the Zord Ascension project through Hasbro. I sold both my Dragon Zord and my Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Megazord. I sold them both because one, they were just collecting dust up on my high shelf over there. Two, in my heart of hearts, it was not a good. Okay, hold on here. I'm going to check something out here very quickly. I need to refresh because we're not getting any new chat in right now. There we go. There we go. We got 6 watching right now. In my heart of hearts, those were very poor facsimiles that were overcharged. They're like 150, 140 a piece at original retail price. Fortunately, I got them on a Hasbro outlet sale, so I saved me some money. But I didn't care for them. I mean, they were cool. They were cool. They had a certain look to them, but they felt cheap. So what I did was I'm sticking with my Super 7 Power Ranger figures, and I have the Dragon Zord and the Red Tyrannosaurus Rex Zord. I do want to get the actual Megazord, but we'll see what happens. But that's the thing. It's like Hasbro was trying to do too much. They need to focus on quality and not quantity. That's one of their big problems. But I mean, they effectively drove Power Rangers into the ground. They have the rights to the TV show. They could keep the TV show going, but they decided not to. But now, as a toy company, well, they don't even call themselves a toy company now, do they? They call themselves a game company, a board game company, or an entertainment company. Um, they can still make money via Power Rangers. Oh, but now they could have someone else take the overhead. Someone else, actually produce and sell the figures and toys, and they'll still make money off the licensing. That's where I'm going with this. With Ghostbusters, hell, this is, of all things, this is the first HasLab, mind you. This is the first HasLab where we got a prototype that is in all color and about 95% functional. This is basically 95% functional because you have working lights. You have lights on the outside and the inside. I mean, if we go back to that video, right, we can see there's working lights here. You even see the little strobe on the front of the Ecto-1. I mean, the fact that they have working lights here and that these are going to be lights that are going to run off of a USB Type-C, so you can plug a USB cable into the bottom of the Ecto. It's going to power the Ecto-1. You don't have to worry about changing batteries. I mean, this was a friggin' home run, but the fact of the matter is why the hell did they launch this in November? Why, oh why, pray tell, did you launch this in November? Personally, for me, it makes no friggin' sense whatsoever. It really doesn't. It makes no sense whatsoever for the sheer fact that, one, the HasLab team were actually present at Ghostbusters Day this past year in New York City. Archer interviewed Zach, one of the engineers of the HasLab team, and they were rocking these HasLab pins that had the icon of the tire that we see right here, right in the center, right there. Okay, that image right there was on the buttons, and they were wearing T-shirts. So obviously they were prepared to promote it. They were teasing this new HasLab, but it would have made more sense to launch it at Ghostbusters Day, or at least in the summertime, around that time frame. Strike while the iron is hot. I mean, in March, you had Ghostbusters Frozen Empire come out. And then we had the 40th anniversary of Ghostbusters, which was on June 8th of 1984, June 8th of 2024. We had it at the Firehouse. There was an amazing fan event. And of all things, they were showing off the 2 in the box, which is going to be shipping out hopefully within the next week or two. Which was an amazing HasLab, the second Ghostbusters HasLab, and now this third HasLab. They wait until November, and the thing about that is the timing is terrible. It is completely and utterly idiotically terrible. Because, this year has been a crap year. Between the various hurricanes that have happened, natural disasters, and now you want to launch a HasLab right before the holidays, when people and their families need money for travel, need money to do a Thanksgiving dinner for family who are coming in, or getting ready for. You're going to end this right before December, which is the holiday season. You have Black Friday, the Friday after Thanksgiving, obviously, Cyber Monday. So tons of people are going to be spending their money on those 2 days, right? All that weekend, people are going to be spending money. They're not. They're like, hey, I would really love to have this, but guess what? I gotta do shopping for little Jimmy and little Sally here. I gotta get Aunt Esther that food processor she's been eyeing for. There's all these things. There's all these. You have to relegate money. And what about those collectors? I know personally several collectors right now who are getting hit in the wallet because of pre-orders they made last spring, last June, last summer. The pre-orders are coming through, hitting their wallets because they're shipping out right before the holidays. So that's another thing. This is a terrible time to launch a HasLab, whether it's Ghostbusters, whether it's G.I. Joe, whether it's Star Wars, whatever kind of HasLabs you are launching. This is a terrible damn time. So I want to know, Which executives in Hasbro said, hey, let's launch it around this time. Let's launch it right before Christmas. Fact of the matter is, we wouldn't see this. We won't be seeing this HasLab. If it does fund, we won't be seeing it shipped to us. A year from now, probably about maybe a year and a half. Archer. Let's see here. Dre's just saying Haya is awesome because Ultra Carzilla is talking about Haya toys. And Dre was also saying you could also do Star Trek and and Aliens and Predator because they also have one. Oh, he's talking to Ultra Carzilla. Ultra Carzilla says, but G.I. Joe crossing over with Alien and Predator is more okay. They're talking about Ultra Carzilla's little project. But Nerd Affiliate says, laugh out loud, shout out to Aunt Sally, needed that food processor. She does. She needs that fruit ninja, But see, that's the thing. This is a terrible damn time, and I would love to know who in their right infinite wisdom at Hasbro said, hey, let's launch it around this time. Whoever it is, I wouldn't be surprised if there's, not the entire board of executives, but a few executives are like, hey, let's, maybe there were a few executives that want this HasLab to fail, because, hey, maybe they have offers from other companies. Maybe there are other companies that are interested in taking the brand and running with it. This wouldn't be the first time. Okay? This definitely will not be the first time. Mondo is running with the real Ghostbusters line, and they're killing it. We don't know how the articulation is going to feel in hand yet. It looks very much like Super 7. I know Archer has said that on his streams. And I have to admit, given the look of the joints, I have to admit it probably does look like it's going to be more of a Super 7 Ultimates kind of posability. But the detail, this is a chef's kiss. This is an homage to the real Ghostbusters. The price point is a little bit high up there, yes, at $101. But we also don't know the full extent, the full details and legality of these licenses when they're issued out to various companies. For all we know, the real Ghostbusters being at that price point could be some kind of a loophole where Mondo's making a little bit more money and they're coming out ahead than Hasbro is. We don't know. We've heard the stories. We've seen the reports of how Hasbro is focusing on family entertainment, or they're focusing on games. Like, we've seen a big resurgence with them and their board games. When I say board games, I'm talking about like their Dungeons and Dragons and everything else that they do. Let's just go to brands. Let's just take a look at the brands for a minute. Transformers. Yeah, Transformers is there, and I'm going to get to Transformers in a minute. G.I. Joe, a very popular brand. We have the fan merch. We have Shopball G.I. Joe, G.I. Joe Classifieds. There's a lot right there. Then we have Marvel. We know Marvel and Star Wars do pretty well for themselves. Black Series, not so much lately. But, Marvel's still doing pretty strong. Power Rangers. Why do we even have Power Rangers here? Okay? Why do we even have Power Rangers listed here? That makes no sense. Oh, Power Rangers Comic-Con 2024. Okay, yes, they have these silver, the more metallic gloss looking figures, but guess what? These are not actually made directly by Hasbro, but they're being made by another company. And let's be honest, do we need another? Okay, here we have the original 5, right? And then we have the Tommy figures right here. And honestly, the articulation on them, I'm not paying $35 for these. I mean, they have the OG weapons, like the all-white. Come on, Tommy never even had a blaster to begin with. So, I mean, if you want to be a nerd, you can be that nerd and point that out. But I'm not paying $35 for these. They are not worth it in my book. Okay? Let me see. What do we have any details? Because I want to say that these are. Let's see here. Okay, these are super. These are supposed to be 7 inch, but they're supposed to be like more like a budget version. And these are go back to the height of Mighty Morphin Mania was Super 7. Yeah, this is Super 7. Super 7 is producing this, but Hasbro's going to sell it on their website. Do you see what I'm saying? They're passing out the license to other companies. They're passing, I shouldn't say passing, but they're leasing out the money, so they're making money on that. They may even be making a certain amount of money on the profits of these figures too. So I mean, that's what I'm talking about. It seems like they're on their way to trying to say, hey, maybe we can drive a couple of these brands, these lines down into the ground, where someone we can say, hey, well, this really hasn't been performing well, but hey, pay us X amount of dollars and we'll lease it out to you. And that's where I think they're going with this. Archer says, I sent you some Super 7 pictures where the White Ranger has paint rub in the promo pictures. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. That's terrible. That is terrible, man. Let me see if I can pull that up on my Instagram. Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible. So I'm going to bring this up to this screen right here. There we go. So, I mean, you can see the paint rub right there that he's referring to. That's terrible. I mean, if you're having that noticeable on your promos, I mean, sure, they could be prototypes potentially speaking, but unless they fix that QC issue, it's going to be Lightning Collection all over again. Tell me I'm wrong. Please, please, someone tell me I'm wrong. But see, that's the thing. Like, let's take a look at the other Power Rangers stuff. Lightning Collection. These are the most recent offerings. These are like over a year old, if not more. The white version of the Phantom Ranger makes no sense whatsoever. Okay, we have RPM Yellow, which I do have. This Goldar, they came up with a few Goldars, and honestly, the Cobra Kai thing, you guys have heard me talk about some of this stuff, but this is like their clearance stuff that really didn't sell that well. I can't believe Mesgog didn't sell that well. And this is their idea of clearance, $20? No, get out of here, forget about it. And their Morpher is light as a feather. If you held a Legacy Morpher from Bandai in your hand and then you held this, you'd think this was Fisher Price. No joke. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm being straight up real with you guys. But see, that's the thing. Some of these lines are being run into the ground. Again, we'll go back to Power Rangers. Let's see, that's all that they're showing here. Let's see. Show all Power Rangers. Let's click on that. Okay, so we got the Super 7 figures here, right? We got the 3-0. 3-0, of course it's sold out here. And also they sell some t-shirts, but guess what? They only go to a certain size in the t-shirts, which I think is a little bit garbage. And of course, they only carry a very limited supply quantity, and that's it. There's not much in here. A lot of this stuff is stuff that's been out for a year or stuff that's just coming out, like Zeo Red 5. I mean, there's not a whole lot. And that's the thing. It's like the line is essentially dead, with the exception of Super 7 right now. I think Super 7 is the only one who's coming up with new stock. Whether, of course, there's a question can be made about the quality of said stock, I mean, it's just something really bad. I mean, it makes a suggestion that are there people in Hasbro that actually want it to fail so that they can push those other toy lines to other companies to lease them out to make money because they're not making money? I mean, obviously, G.I. Joe's making a ton of money right now. G.I. Joe, that I think like G.I. Joe is kind of like the new Star Wars Black Series. Hear me out. Because, again, Black Series, they will keep shelling out figures. Of course, they have the new figures for the new Skeleton Crew series that's coming out soon. So they can keep creating more and more figures, and we're going to buy them. We're going to buy the 27th or the 35th version of Luke Skywalker, we're gonna buy it. The fans will buy it. Well, not me personally. I stepped out of Black Series. I haven't bought a Black Series figure in maybe a year and a half now. That 12-step program really worked. But that's the thing. There's so many big fans of Star Wars, multi-generational fans, mind you, fans who have passed it on to their kids, their grandkids, their grandnieces, whatever the case may be. And this is a line that's going to keep going. There's always going to be profit in this. Some figures maybe, more so than others. I mean, hell, they got a Sebulba here. Um, I mean, it's going to be something that will sell, and they'll continue with it. And take a look at, let's say, G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe, I mean, hell, I was a fan of G.I. Joe. I have the Vamp. I mean, I have both Jeeps up there. I started collecting classified series about a little over a year ago. And I have my section. I've been cherry picking what figures I want. But that's the thing. G.I. Joe, they can keep making these figures. Some of these, I mean, take a look at some of the guys that they got here. I mean, some of these figures are pretty damn sick. They also have like the little kind of a retro card back version. If you missed out on Mindbender, you can get this Mindbender now, which is more 80s cartoon accurate. So there's a lot of stuff you can do. Yes, they have come up with some variants, and they're coming out with some really sick figures. A lot of their big gimmicks is pairing an animal with a very popular figure, and obviously you can charge more for it. I mean, literally, the list goes on and on. G.I. Joe sells out when it's their HasLab time. They pretty much, within 3 or 4, maybe 5 days, they've completely funded. Not only do they fund, but they blow it out of the friggin' water. Okay? They own G.I. Joe and Transformers, so they can put more behind it. Yeah, yep. Archer says that right in the chat. Want to welcome Bill to the chat. He's saying, "What up, Dave?" And Ultra Carzilla says, "Also, I will not watch Skeleton Crew as I have lost interest in the new Star Wars content, and I hope Skeleton Crew suffers the same fate as Acolyte, a show I never will watch and glad it got canceled." I mean, you're always going to have criticisms, especially with the new Star Wars. The mouse is behind it all, and the mouse is trying to appeal to everybody, and you're not going to do that. Once you realize you can't appeal to everybody, I mean, you could focus on some of the core, but my thing is, especially when it comes to inclusion, if it feels natural, if it serves a story, I say go for it. But don't just do it for the sake of doing it. So but that's the thing. It's like G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe is always going to sell because they have thousands upon thousands of characters, and they can create new ones. I mean, hell, even the mole rat, looks more like a zombie. You could army build those for a very sick looking setup, And the figures they come with so many accessories, but they still keep a $25 price point. And I think that's been one of the biggest selling points for G.I. Joe is, he doesn't just come with one gun. He comes with like 2 rifles, maybe 2 handguns, a couple knives, a backpack. I mean, they've done so much with Classified that's why people keep coming back to it. People will come over and over again. They take some of the classic ones like Buzzer here and, Bazooka, and they make him look amazing. Bazooka looks like a beast, man. He was a Dumbo. He was a dummy on the cartoon back in the 80s, but now they made him look like he looked like a beefed up version of Magnum PI. I mean, he looks insanely sick. But that's the thing. They're putting so much behind, and take a look. We have 3 different pages of figures that none of them are sold out. These are all in stock. They keep them in stock. Of course, this funded. A lot of people were getting the Dragonfly this past week. But they're amazing figures, great articulation. Some of them can be a little top heavy depending on the accessories, and you might need a little dab of hot glue to get the pack to stay on the back. But I mean, for the most part, they are amazing figures. Archer says, they haven't retooled Black Series in too long. Why are Jedi coming with trigger hands? Yeah. They That's the thing. Black Series probably could do with an update, but I mean, that's beyond that's beyond my pay scale. That's beyond all of our pay scales. Pulse Premium, which I mean, if you and that's another thing. If other lines, if you can get these figures to other retailers, what is the sense in keeping your Pulse Premium? I mean, a few people do that for the pre-orders, right? If there's a pre-order, you'll occasionally do that. I mean, with Marvel Legends for the most part, that's why I have my premium, my Pulse Premium, and I was doing that for hopes of a few Power Ranger things. But since Power Rangers is no longer a thing, it's basically DOA. I mean, that's the thing right now. I mean, what's the sense in paying that $50 for like, oh, I can get free shipping, but you get free standard shipping to the U.S. and to Canada. Okay, Hasbro Pulse content and events. Sadly, I've been getting a lot of late emails, and I've messaged them about it, but nothing seems to be happening. Early access to select product drops and back in stocks. Sure, you get an email that something's back in stock. That's great and all, but fact of the matter is, if you're not getting alerted, or let's say even if you do receive the email, if you work during the daytime, you're not going to be able to get it. And a lot of the scalpers, let's be honest, they get to it first. So, I mean, there's a lot to be said about that. And I will say this: I want to touch base on. I think Power Rangers, or not Power Rangers, but Transformers, is slowly running out of ideas. That's not what I want. I want to go to new and here we go. Where are their new stuff? Let's go. Let's just go here. This is their latest brainstorm. They're like, hey, let's take the body of Grimlock and let's put Megatron's head on it. That's what they did. That was their latest genius. Is hey, and they're going to call it Transformers Takara Tomy Megatron Type Godzilla. This is Grimlock. This is not Godzilla. You guys can do better than that for $65. You know you can do better than that. And does it say what class he is? Does it say leader class, commander class? I'm sorry, I have no. They slapped a Godzilla sticker on the front of him. Where's Kat when we need her? They slapped a Godzilla sticker on the front of him, and they give him a Megatron head. This looks terrible. This really looks terrible. Transformers, in my opinion, has gone down in quality over the past 3 or 4 years, and it does not make me miss it. I mean, occasionally there's a cool looking figure that I'm like, hey, that would be pretty cool. But when it comes to the Hasbro brands, they've been terrible. Now, the 3-0 Transformers, that's a whole other story. The 3-0, the MDLX lines, they look fantastic. I have the diecast Optimus. I have the diecast Bumblebee. They look phenomenal. They look phenomenal. They really do. See, when something has a premium quality to it, you will have no problem dropping the money. And when I talk about dropping the money, let's just go back to Mondo. And I came across something today that I did not know. I was this old today when I found this out. Okay, the Mondo Real Ghostbusters Venkman that comes with Slimer and also comes with a Ghost Trap and Sam Hain being sucked into the trap. All these accessories. Now, if you go to Mondo and you're buying this by itself, you can get it for about $10 off, which isn't bad. And then who knows how much the shipping is going to be. I think they might be doing free shipping. I could be wrong. But guess what? Who else is also doing Mondo? Well, you can also get it through BigBadToyStore.com. You're going to be paying the full price 101. You can pre-order that. Oh, look, we can go to Sideshow.com. You can pre-order it there again. Now, they're expecting June to August of next year. Big Bad Toy Store, let's see, what are they saying? They're saying, okay, estimated to arrive June of 2025. Mondo, what was Mondo saying? May of 2025. So your best bet is getting directly from Mondo, okay? Which is usually the opposite when it comes to Hasbro. Now, the O-ring figures for Ghostbusters that apparently we all pre-ordered around June aren't supposed to come out until like February, like late January, early February of 2025. A friend of mine recently received notification that his were shipping out from BigBagToyStore.com. So that's a case of you just never know. So we got June here, right? We got June to August, and we have June 2025 with Entertainment Earth. But I would take that with a grain of salt because I've pre-ordered stuff from Entertainment Earth, and they have pushed it back a week, and a week. So, or rather, a month and a month and a month and a month. One time, I was trying to buy a NECA Doc Brown. It was supposed to be coming out in August. Didn't come out until December. They keep pushing it back, But it's retailers, and you never know what's going on in the world with shipping. But that's an example. But seriously, this is one I think I'm gonna get. I have them in my cart. I just have to pull the trigger. I really do think it's going to be worth it. I do have apprehension. I'm worried that what if a leg joint or something breaks, but that's the thing. I'm also not going to be playing with it. I'm going to have it posed on a shelf somewhere with the rest of my Ghostbuster stuff, and I think he's going to look phenomenal. I can't wait to see Egon. I can't wait to see Boogeyman. Right now, I'm of the mindset that I'm probably going to skip getting the full size Sam Hain, which they do offer, and they're offering that you can get them both for 202. Okay, 202 right here. Now this is Wall Supplies Last, available from 10/29/2024 up until 11, so November 26th. So you have up until that time frame to order these two. So we still got like another week and change. Okay, still got like no, it's about another week. Okay, so yeah, that's about a week right there. So you could do that. I mean, you can argue that the pricing is a bit much, but Mondo does some pretty freaking amazing things. Like they got this cell shaded Spider-Man animated series symbiote Spidey, and this is 1/6 scale. This is like a Hot Toy scale. So for 230, I'm sorry, I have to admit that it's on par. It's on par. Like we got the Shocker arm being crushed by him. We got the blue cell shading. We've got the symbiote tendrils that come out that you can put around his neck. We got all the different webbing. And they got him looking like he did in the cartoon. This looks insane. This is how cell shading should be done. Hasbro, Marvel Legends, pay attention. Uh, but this is how it should be. That scene right there is right out of the cartoon. It looks sick as hell. By the way, if you're looking to do any kind of promotion, like you see how you got the backdrop right here, I would highly recommend checking out. There's a website called Toy Hacks, also known as Repo Labels. They do all kinds of backgrounds, whether you're looking for something that's going to be like a New York City skyline, you want something for G.I. Joe, something for Transformers, Cobra, anything you want. They have all these different backgrounds you can get, and I think that would be killer right there. Let's just take a look back at the chat. We got Archer says, Steve bought that Spidey today. I'm still not sold yet. Definitely great articulation. Now, here's the thing. I'm on the fence because, don't get me wrong, it's a good size, but the pricing, 230 is a bit much. However, had I had the opportunity to get Batman Beyond, I would have gotten him. Terry McGinnis, Batman Beyond, they have him, but he's sold out. I'm on the wait list to be notified once that reopens for sale. But here, yeah, they got 202, but here's the thing. Let me go to my cart. Okay, we're going to remove this just for a minute. Put this right here, right? We're going to add this. Can we add it to my cart? There we go. So we're going to add it to my cart. Well, now it's $192, so you still get $10 off. You're still getting $10 off, so that's not bad. That'll offset some of the tax right there, so that's not too bad. The cell shading is amazing, he says. Sorry, I didn't mean to say the articulation was good. I hate it. He said he hates their articulation. I wish I had Marvel Legend articulation. Well, who knows? Maybe that's coming down the line. A lot of these manufacturers, they like to improve. How many different versions of Wolverine do we have? Dre of the Collector's Safe Space, if you're listening, how many different figures have you started with Marvel Legends, then gone to SH Figure Arts, and maybe gone to Mafex or or some variants thereupon, and you're getting some pretty, you're getting better improvement, better art details as you go on further and further. So there is that. But that's the thing; they got so much good here, and that's the thing. Right now, toy collecting, the days of us getting $15 figures that we were happy with are done. They are completely and utterly forever gone. It's now, oh, if you want a good figure, you're going to be paying 40, $50 at least. If you want something that you're really going to love for years to come, you're going to be spending $100 to $200. 100 to 150. That's not just my opinion. That's kind of a proven fact here. Because I mean, again, you get this very sick looking Sam Hain. My thing is, I wish the eyes kind of glowed. That would be sick. But my worry is how high he is. Anyone who's a Marvel Legends fan or a collector, if you ever had the Watcher from the What If Build a Figure series, he was kind of shaped like this, and he was a terrible. He was just, you had to kind of glue him to keep him together, and that's kind of a fear here. But I mean, I've also seen pictures courtesy of Instagram, like anyone who follows YHS podcast, the Yes Have Some crew. They've shown some pretty amazing pictures on their Instagram of having these figures in hand, and they look even better than these pictures. These promotion pictures, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're great. We get two Venkman heads, we get the particle stream, we get a trap, but the trap also has a feature where it shows the trap open and Sam Hain gets sucked in. We have Peter with his hands and also the gloves. We get Slimer suspended right here. All this right here for 101. And then you can also get him, Sam Hain. We get 1, 2, 3 heads. Alternate we got one extra pair of hand swaps. All that for 101. But you got to take a look at the shading on here. The art, the color. These are literally the best figures we have seen for these. And look at this. Belt Gizmo, we get the trap on the pack. I mean, this looks phenomenal. This is the best version of real Ghostbusters Venkman we've ever had. Now, anyone who's ever had the Kenner Ghostbuster figures, they're cool, they're amazing, they're nostalgic. But this looks like he was grabbed out of the cartoon. That's what it is. This is what this is what a toy company should be doing. They should be not just making stuff for the younger kids, but making stuff for the big kids. That's where it's at. Now, excuse me, guys, for just one moment. I'll be right back.
Stepped into days and that shit so wild, where chaos rules and sanity's exiled. Tech toys and gadgets fill the air. Superheroes talk without a care. In this realm of wires and light, late night sessions feel so right. Insanity's dance we all embrace, a smile found on every face. Dave's Dimension, here we roam, a place where minds can freely comb. Second toys blend in the fray, superheroes light the way. Dave's Dimension, here we roam, a place where minds can freely comb. Second toys blend in the fray, superheroes light the way. Unbox the wonder, see then.
Sorry about that, guys. But see, at least these actually look like this is a company that actually cares about what's going on. Archer says he says, I might do something dumb if you were me, would you get the single pack or the Marvel Legends Sentinel? Both are overpriced. I think, see, what Archer's talking about, let's go to it. He's talking about the Marvel Legends Sentinel, so let's go ahead and just pull that up right now. Here we go. He's talking about this $174.99 for the Marvel Legends Sentinel. My worry is this: what if we see these at Ollie's a year from now, and then you get it for much cheaper? I mean, that could be a possibility. I can't bring myself to drop, 175 on this. I just can't. I mean, don't get me wrong. You get some cool accessories here, right? We get 2 repulsor blasts basically for the hands. We get a little damaged centerpiece. We get damaged skull and top. But and also the size. He's a chunky boy. He's definitely tall. Because this is an actual picture with the actual scale 6-inch Marvel Legends X-Men 97 figures. So I mean, he's a good size, but again, he's going to take up space. He's going to take up a lot of space. That's my concern. One, we won't know how the ratchets are in the legs. Obviously, these are going to be cheaper joints than you had with the HasLab Sentinel from a couple years ago. The Sentinels aren't being released after this pre-order. That's what they say. Archer says they aren't being released after this pre-order. Remember when we were told once upon a time that when HasLabs are complete, they're complete. There's no runs afterwards. But this past year, we had an outlet sale, and they actually had extra Ghostbuster HasLab Proton packs. They did. They didn't last long, but they had some. So you just never know with Hasbro. But yeah, they're probably going to learn their lesson. Here, Dave, Ultra Carzilla says, Dave, which company should get the Terminator license from NECA, as they never made a new figure in over 4 years, and need to lose the license as they did nothing for the 40 years of trans. Yeah, because again, Terminator came out in '84, just like Ghostbusters. That's a tough question. Mondo definitely could, but Mondo has their hand in a lot of cookie jars, so that's debatable. Um, I know some people like to see Hiya Toys, but I'm sure there's quite a few companies out there that could probably do a nice good working. Um, Hell, what if they did a MDLX line of Terminators via 3.0? That would be interesting. I think that could be interesting, and that would be a nice little conversation to have. So I mean, between this and the single pack, like when you say single pack, you're talking about Peter Venkman. I would go with Peter Venkman. That would be my choice. Between these two, one, you're gonna save yourself on space, avoiding Sentinel. If you go with Peter, he's gonna be what, 6-7 inch figure that can fit on a shelf. This boy is gonna take up a lot of space. You already have quite a few vehicles that you have to find places for in your new house. So I mean, if you're trying to save up on space, unless you just want him to be like sticking in the background as like a little background piece that's so noticeable, and maybe try like a little aftermarket mod, maybe try and put some LEDs in his lights or something to give him a little bit extra something. I mean, unless you have a plan in mind, then I would go with Venkman personally. That's what I would do between the two. But hey, that's just me, guys. That's just me. So let's take a look at what else is going on. So yeah, I mentioned Batman Beyond, so let me just pull him up. And it's funny because I was gaming with someone this past week, and they had mentioned how they thought that that would be something I would definitely go for, but I missed out. Yeah, I already clicked on to notify me when restocked. Batman Beyond, Terry McGinnis. I mean, we got the Mr. Freeze gun. We got the freeze effect, which you used on ink. We have the rocket blast. We have alternate wings that we can put on him. We got the Terry McGinnis face, which looks hauntingly ripped from the cartoon. Okay, we have, let's see here. We got his version of the grappler, right? We have the hood Batman's hood, so you can actually hold it in your hand. We got the claw-like hands. We got fists. We got holding hands. We have the little egg from that one episode, the little robotic egg baby that he had to take care of. We got all the different kinds of batarangs here. We got two regular batarangs. We have an electric, kind of like a freezing batarang, and then we got like the little claw ripping batarang right here. And we got multiple heads here. Of course, we got the closed mouth, we got the grin, we got the kind of the snarl, and then we got the battle damage Batman right there. This is fantastic. It's 225, and I personally would have bit the bullet on that one. I would have said, screw it. It's Batman Beyond. I have to. I have to. Take a look at some of the images, some of the pictures they took. This is not animation. This is him. They did a friggin' killer job with this. So much that you can do with this. I'm like, even if you did like a Batman, you got like the regular Batman anime series, Batman, you could have them side by side. I think that would be cool. They did so much. This is, hell, if this was something I would have obtained, this would be like, I know, hot take, maybe figure of the year, maybe top 5 figure of the year for some people. Depends on what you're a fan of, what you prefer, what you don't prefer. So, arguments can be made. Arguments can be made about that. They have some pretty damn amazing stuff on Mondo's site. You know, they do all kinds of stuff. They got turtles. They have some pretty sick looking Motu Masters Universe right there. Let me see here. Archer says they did the new movie Arnold figure, and we had the Connor 2-pack. Okay. And Nerd Affiliated also says, but the problem with Peter is you can't stop at one. Ultra Carzilla says, Nerd Affiliated with the 2-pack with Sarah Connor and John was released over 4 years ago and still nothing new. And like I said, NECA could have made a new Kyle Reese with an entirely new sculpt head to toe. True. Fair point, he says. But there's a lot they got going on here. A lot of dangerous stuff. And also, speaking of dangerous, Big Bad Toy Store, they are coming back big time with the Tamini Nations. We got Thundercats, we got Zoids. Here's a lot of Mafex. They have some Mafex on sale. We got the Hush Batman for $52. We got the, of course, the Snyder Cut Superman black suit for $62. We got some pretty good deals from Mafex. Some good deals here. So if you're looking for Mafex, they got it going on right now. They have a lot of stuff. They have clearance sales going on. If you're looking for Ghostbusters, they got clearance sale on the figures here. They got Tiny Mac, him and his stuff is on sale. Everything is on sale here. So you're going to find something for someone right here. No doubt. Straight up. Let's see. Archer says, haven't thought about figure of the year yet. Are you only counting what's been released? I'm going to say what's been put out there, because also I guess I can't rightfully say Batman Beyond could be figure of the year because he won't be in hand for people until next year. So I guess he's really more of a 2025, but just on looks alone, he looks amazing. He looks friggin' phenomenal. So that's a question. Archer says, Ultra Color says, NECA could have made a Terminator 84 Sarah Connor, but no, NECA didn't. Honestly, I'm not sure what NECA is doing right now. I know they've been focusing a lot on the Turtles. There's been a lot of great Turtle stuff coming out. Dre says, Archer, I go by what has been released. And he says, right now, I have a few contenders that are up for that title. Megadan Collect says, yo, everyone. Archer says, yo, Megadan. Ultra Carzilla says NECA could have made a future term. Well, the argument can also be made, let alone Terminator. They have other lines that are uncompleted, like Back to the Future. We got Back to the Future 2 figures, but we never got it Back to the Future 3, any Back to the Future 3 figures. So there's a lot of lines NECA has left uncompleted. So the argument can definitely be made there. Archer says top 5, Dre. It looks like Dre's about to say my top 5 question mark would say, and it looks like he's probably gonna be typing it in any minute now. But that's the thing, like there's a lot of great stuff here. A lot of great stuff. I'm probably staying away from helmets personally. You got Andre the Giant. We got a 2-pack from McFarlane, but this is probably one of the worst ones that McFarlane did last year. Or released last year, I should say. Sorry about that, guys. There's a lot of stuff here. A lot of different figures and a lot of different scales. So, hey, if you're looking for stocking stuffers or for something for that collector, but you're on a budget, go ahead and check it out. They even have some gargoyles here for $25. We got NECA figures for under $35 here, guys. So that's something to think about right there. Right here. Well, of course, there's always our good old friend, Sideshow Collectibles. They have, of course, their holiday deals where you can get a lot of their 1/6 scale collectibles are ranging between 25 to 30 to 35, even one or two that might be 40% off. Excuse me. But right now, they're also doing it where if you buy something of a certain price point, you also get the Mandalorian hot toy for free. It's the Mandalorian. I think this is I want to say it's the deluxe version of Mando with Grogu. But yeah, there's been a lot of different versions of that already. I mean, there's some amazing ones. If you have the money to spend it, that's waiting to join stream. Are you? I have not got a notification yet. Let me see. Let me see collab cam. Okay, I have collab cam here. It's not showing anything up just yet. I apologize. Baz, I didn't know we were waiting back there. Let me see if I can pull something. Let me see if I can pull you in here. Bear with me. I'm just fixing something very quickly. I'll have to fix that later. Let me see. Let's see if we can get Baz in here. I'm trying to see if we can pull you in. I'm not getting any notifications just yet. Bear with me. Excuse me. Sorry about that. Collab cam is something new that I'm trying to learn. There we go. Baz. We're going to shrink you a little bit. Let's see if I can get this. There we go. So didn't receive a notification about that, so I'm sorry. So what's new and exciting, man? Archer's asking, so I saw you post about the free figure promo. What would you pull the trigger on some Hot Toys? What would it pull the trigger on? Well, let's take a look here. Excuse me. Their main page. I mean, let's actually filter this from low to high, right? Let's see, price points. Let's see here. What filter? No. See, I hate how they do some of their filters here. Let me see. Sort by low to high. There we go. Okay, so they have like some really basic stuff here. Like small stuff for like 17 and up, like a lot of the vinyls. None of this. None. Don't call me a nun. What? They have some pretty good art, but even some of the art I think is a little pricey. You know, I kind of like getting art from cons because a lot of times you can get the artist to autograph it right there. You know, I think that adds a little something something to it. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of really awesome stuff here. We're gonna skip ahead. Okay, let's skip up to page 4. There we go. We'll go to page 3. Let's see. Excuse me. Okay, so we got this. We got a Bucky statue. And the Bucky statue looks good. I do like the zombie. Yeah, the zombie cap. He looks pretty insane. And since I have a thing for like The Walking Dead and anything undead, I think that would be something pretty damn cool to have. It's too bad they don't have a hot toy like him yet. I heard they're working on one, but we'll see. I think he looks insane. I think he really looks insane. I like it. What else do they have? Of course, they got the Doc statue. The Doc statue's okay. Let's see here. More statues. And then we get the hot toy figures, the 1/6 scale. We got Artillery Stormtrooper. We got Scout Trooper. We got King Shark. We got of course we got all the Star Wars troopers, and apparently the past couple figures, the free figures they've been doing, have been nothing but have been Star Wars figures. What do you think, Baz? Well, a lot of the 1/6 scale figures, like through Sideshow, Hot Toys, and other brands, they've done an occasional one where like, oh, if you spend so much, you can get like a free 1/6 scale figure. They've been Star Wars figures, so that kind of suggests that Star Wars is not selling like it used to. Okay, let me just go ahead and check this out. Let me see here. Dre says, okay, 5. His top 5. Uh, Ichia Ichigo Duels. I don't know that one. It must be from an anime. I'm sorry. Mayfex Gambit. His number 4 pick. His number 3 is Mayfex Stealth Suit Cap. His number 2 pick, Spider-Man India from Marvel Legends. Surprised it was as good. I know, but the SH figure arts will be better. And he's still thinking about his number 1. And Archer says, good picks, Dre. This week's promo is Mando and Grogu. We can't hear him. They can't hear you for some reason. Can you guys hear him now? Go ahead and say something, Baz. Say something now.
Hello. How are you, Dave?
You guys should be able to hear him now. I had desktop audio down for some reason. Sorry about that. But you guys should be able to hear him now. But it seems like Star Wars is not selling like it used to. I actually have a
No,
friend.
I've noticed that in certain shops over here.
Same thing there.
Is that Star Wars is now dropping in price
Well,
just to get rid of it.
I have a friend who has a hot toy from the Bad Batch, not even opened. Hunter from the Bad Batch, and it doesn't seem like anyone's interested. I think it looks like an awesome figure, but I guess people just aren't. I think people are losing interest in Star Wars. I think Star Wars might need to worry a little bit. What do you think?
Oh, definitely. Nobody's because they keep bringing repaints out, the same figure out, different colors,
Yeah.
different outfits. There's only so many Han Solos you can have, Chewbacca's, Rey's.
Like I said, 35 Lukes. You know, it's it's a thing.
It's all right if you're a completist kind of thing. If you want every version of the character,
Yeah.
then yeah.
I mean, if you want a
understand that.
multiverse of Star Wars, sure, go for it.
It's the same with Marvel, man. How many Iron Mans have we had? How many Captain Americas have we had?
Well, see, like Dre, in who's in the chat, he's done this where he'll start off with the Marvel Legend, and then eventually, if SH Figure Arts or too many nations, or someone else comes up with an more amazing figure, he'll go to that one. And I don't blame him for it. Scale yourself up. It's
Yeah.
more quality over quantity, and he says Sideshow is doing great job on the T2 stuff. Yeah, a lot of their Terminator stuff's been looking amazing. He also said XO-6, the XO-6 brand, they've been killing it on Star Wars, or sorry, Star Trek. He just got the Captain Pike from Strange New Worlds, and he says
Nice.
it's amazing in person. I mean, like yeah, you see like they're lower priced items, 146, 146, 146, 152. I mean, you have what? One, two, three, four, five Star Wars Hot Toys for under $155 US. That's kind of insane. That's kind of crazy, deranged, insane. Now, if I were interested in collecting Star Wars 1/6 scale figures, I mean, because they have the Grogu and Mando, you probably would start off at 146 with this Scout Trooper, since one of the Scout Troopers kind of like, roughed Grogu up a little bit.
Mm.
But right now they're doing it where they have the Mando and Grogu as a free figure. So if you spend a certain amount, you can get him, which is kind of crazy. But it doesn't even have to be Star Wars. It could be, hell, I could probably buy this $153 Batman Beyond Batarang. It's all metal, by the way. And, I could buy that and I'll probably qualify for that. So it's crazy considering that's a $320 hot toy. But my guess is they're not selling them. They're not selling. So they kind of figured, hey, well, we need to make room in our warehouses. Let's just start giving this stuff out.
It's a bit strange that they're getting that set away free for a purchase.
Well, like right before this, I'm trying to think. They had Boba Fett. They had the dirty, beat up, grungy looking Boba Fett, like when he climbs out of the Sarlacc pit,
Mm.
right? They had him, and then for the longest time, they were trying to get rid of the Dark Troopers from Mandalorian, the big Terminator like
Yeah.
Dark Troopers, and nobody was really going for them. People were like, well, oh, it's a free one. I'm just going to go ahead and take it anyways. Uh, Dre says he will always. He says Dave knows me too well. LOL. Will always do quality over numbers. Mike Davis is in the chat. Hey, Mike. I hope you're doing well. And Ultra Carzilla says the 30th anniversary collection and legacy collection Star Wars figures had good articulation, better detail, better paint, and were priced in the 2000s, or were great prices in the 2000s. Dre says I think Star Wars Hot Toys are in downward trend right now. I mean, the proof is right there. Let's see here. We have the Stan Lee from Thor Ragnarok when he's doing the haircut to Thor, for like 156. I really wish we would have gotten some other Hot Toys of Stan Lee.
Mm.
But I mean, it's still I think it's still a decent one to have. You can obviously see it's Stan Lee, and they have him priced down to $156. I mean, he's
That's
great.
actually
He
crazy,
looks
crazy.
great. He looks great, and it's Stan the Man. Okay, let's go back here. And next to him, you have the time travel team suit Iron Man. I kind of don't like how he looks here. It's like it almost looks like they took the Tony Stark head, some of the head sculpt from like Iron Man 2, and slapped it on this suit. Because in the movies, in Endgame, like his hair was a little bit more aged. He looked aged. He doesn't look that aged here. So I'm not a big fan of this version of Stark here. He doesn't look right to me. I mean, don't get me wrong. Of course, you get the Ant-Man head right here. It looks like a cool photo or cool figure, but unless you're doing a whole team of the figures, I think it's kind of a hard pass right there. I mean, yeah, it's 150, what, 153, $156, 156. And then of course you got the Night Monkey, which if you go through other outlets, you can probably find this hot toy for about $100, $100 to $115 because it's not selling well. You don't even get a Tom Holland head sculpt in here. You just get his eyes peeking through the mask. That's about it. So that one's a hard pass right there. Let's see here. You got the armor. So I mean, if you're a Star Wars person, you're gonna get Grogu and the Mandalorian mount. Why not just get the armor to go with it? You know. You got another. You got the tank commander here. You got Moff Gideon for 165. We got the Bucky hot toy, the Winter Soldier hot toy from Falcon and Winter Soldier here. He looks like a pretty good, solid figure. I just don't have a Falcon to go with it. Okay, we got White Vision from Wanda, from WandaVision. We got the IG-11, the assassin droid. We have Captain America 2012 version. I actually have him. I haven't unboxed him yet, and I was tempted about playing around with this idea, Baz, because you saw Endgame, right?
Yes.
Remember when Cap is back in time and he's wearing that same exact suit and he faces his other self?
Yes.
I thought about, well, what if I get this one? And then I could have them fighting each other. That was a little funny idea I was thinking of.
I think you were talking about that last week as well.
Yeah. I mean, he's got your basic kind of, Avengers Endgame kind of stand, nothing special here. But you get some pretty good details, like with his utility belt, the boots there, the shield, and yes, you get Loki's staff. You know, like if I did a pose like this, I think that would be kind of cool. Or if you had them fighting each other, I just thought it would be something kind of fun. But who knows? Maybe he'll come down at a lower price. Who knows? You never know.
Yeah, I've got
But
Black Friday next
what was
in a
that?
couple of weeks' time. I'm saying you've got Black Friday in a couple of weeks, so there might be more reductions.
Who knows? Who knows? And there might be some giveaways too. Let's see. I saw people online post online about his uniform ripping. Oh my, that's no bueno. Uh, Dre says yes. That Bucky, he is dope. Do you have that Bucky or no? I'm curious. Let's see. Dre says the battle damage hot toy from Endgame looks better in my opinion. Okay. Well, I have battle damage cap up here, so I think he might have meant Infinity War possibly. Yeah, Star Wars is in the toilet, and they until they get a good show. 171 isn't bad. I saw people post online about the uniform ripping. Archer said, but there's other stuff here. Of course, a Death Trooper, another. Yeah, we got a Star Wars Trooper. Yeah, big surprise. I'm surprised they have Keel here. The dude is only 178. So if you're a big Lebowski fan, the dude will always abide. Let me fix something here. There we go. We got Shang-Chi. We got both him and his father. 178 apiece. We got Cyborg Spider-Man, which I have thought about him. I like the utility belt, the cyber arm and everything. This is a battle damage Peter Parker who is augmented.
I have seen that hot toy.
Yeah.
That does look cool.
And the eye does light up. I knew I'd get Archer to say that. He says, I want the dude, but they sold out of the one with the joint. We got the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man from What If. I kind of wish that this came with the animated Ant-Man head in a jar. I just think that would have been cool.
Oh, totally, aye.
But obviously,
I
you have
just
a wider
I had to
effect in the
think about
soft
that there for
goods.
a minute.
What was that?
So I had to think about that for a minute when you says the jar with the head in it. I had to
Yeah,
think who was in it again.
yeah, that was Ant-Man's head. Yeah, that was Paul Rudd. And of course, you can tell this is the animated suit, but it still looks good. It still looks really good. Okay, let's take a look. What else do they have? Of course, we got Doc Brown. I have Doc Brown on the shelf. We got Fat Thor, or Bro Thor, as a lot of people like to call him. Archer says, definitely I will get it at some point. Mike Davis says, I got the Sideshow Dude. Great figure. Archer says, good to hear. Still waiting on Beetlejuice. Now, here's the thing. Bro Thor, he has limited mobility. Dre was doing some research and he found out that he has very limited mobility. But I think I saw one or two videos where over time there was some soft goods issues. So, I mean, I guess if you're not really posing him, he's not a bad figure to get. Plus, you do have light effects that you can get. Not just on the two weapons here, but let's skip ahead. So yeah, you can actually, this will light up, which means you have separate LEDs all throughout his torso. So that might be a little bit complicated changing out the batteries. So you got some pluses and minuses. I mean, don't get me wrong, he looks fantastic, but that's the thing. It's like, well, you're going to have trade-offs. You know you're going to have trade-offs. Of course, we have, let me go back up here. We got Anakin Skywalker. This is a more cinematic version of the Clone Wars version when he was in armor. We have Boba Fett in his repainted armor for 187, which I I I I I can't fault. He does look good. I like this Boba Fett. You know, I mean, I like him in the black garb here, the black clothing with the repainted green armor. It looks good on him. But we also have, we do have the black suits the tech suits of Spider-Man when he turns his suit inside out because his Aunt May has cleaned the the red part. So we got that there. I mean, I've seen this go for a lot less. So that's definitely a pass. We have the animated Clone Wars Obi-Wan and Anakin. We get Darth Maul. Darth Maul's badass wherever you are. I mean, seriously. This Loki looks good. He's Loki from Avengers. He's not bad. This Gambit is something I would seriously be tempted for. I mean, he does. He looks. He got some artistic. Some artistic liberties taken on him. But he does look cool. He's definitely going to make a name for himself. That right there, that looks cool. The soft goods, I don't care for the look of the coat somewhat. The coat looks a little like it might start peeling over time, you know? Well, we get some great looking hands. We got some great looking effects here. None of them light up, but it's Gambit, you know? Of course, we get General Grievous. We get IG-11 with the child. We get Miles. We get Sylvie. We get Yelena. I don't like this Yelena, though. To me, she doesn't, like in the face, she looks more like, what's her name? Jesus. Archer says the Gambit looks great. The Gambit does look great. He looks like, he doesn't look like the cartoon, but he looks amazing, though. It looks like how Gambit should look if they did a cinematic Gambit. Nothing against Channing Tatum. I think he did a great job. But like, if we were imagining how Gambit would look in the movies, before Channing Tatum, that's probably what I would envision. Now,
Mm.
this Yelena, she doesn't look like her. In the face, she looks kind of like a younger Ronda Rousey almost. You know,
I was
the
going to say that, doesn't it? It's like they've no, you know, with the hot toys, that they always either get the actors
spot on or
properly,
or way off.
but no, doesn't it look like her? Doesn't it look like the actress?
Because here's the. Let me see if I can pull this up right here. Come on. Here we go. So here's captions of Florence Pugh, who plays Yelena. It's probably not going to load now because I have way too many tabs open. I mean, that doesn't look like her. It. I think it's a bad representation of her. I want your guys to let me know. What do you think? Do you think that this looks like Yelena? I mean, maybe from a distance, but like when you get up close, I don't think it looks like her. I mean, I think it's a great suit. We get the weapons, you know. But I just don't think it's a. I think they kind of messed it up in her face a little bit, you know.
Unless they don't have the license for her likeness.
Yeah, that could be true. That could be true. Ultra Carzilla says it does look a bit like Ronda Rousey in her 20s. I'm just saying. Dre says I need that Yelena. I know you do, bro. Sylvie looks good. This is the DJ Miles Morales, which I'm not gonna front. I do like this kind of Daft Punk kind of vibe for Miles. I already have Miles Morales with Bodega Cat with his rocket roller blades, and he's jamming with his headset on. That's how I have him on my shelf. So I mean, he does look very cool. I like the kind of like the biker coat he's got going on, and then of course the backdrop that this is your stand right here where you got like these little laptops and stuff like DJing. It looks phenomenal. This thing just looks badass. Like this is all digitized. I just love that. Love the look of it. But see, now we're going up in price because that's like, what is that? That's 206. We have 210 for the Scarlet Witch. And don't get me wrong, she looks good. They did a really good face sculpt here. This looks like her. Dre says Sylvie is great. Yes, I know because he's got his Sylvie from the Loki series. I don't think she looks bad. I think she looks pretty good for the most part. Kind of wish they had like a glowing effect for the magic here. See what else we have. We have Stark from Iron Man 1 for 217. Now these everything here has like a discount percentage with code Black Friday 25. No, this one's Black Friday 30. Okay. But this is him when he's first building his suit. Or should I say the Mark II suit. So you can see you get like the little mask with his face mask with all the markings on there. I think that looks great. Like when he's testing his thrusters and everything. I think it's great, but it's not right for my collection. The detail on here is just insane. And I like how all this lights up.
That's what I like about the Hot Toys, man. As you say, it all goes into detailing and
Oh yeah. I mean, the first hot toy I had when I looked at the eyes on Cap and the pores on the skin, it freaked me the hell out. We got Bo Katan We also have Echo for 217. That's the sale price. Normally 290. We got Iron Man Mark 5, of course. We got Doctor Strange. Now, I had him in my hands. Sold him because I made a deal for two other Hot Toys. But also, I knew that I was going to be selling one of my Spider-Man. So I knew he wouldn't fit in my collection anymore. So that's what happened with that.
Mm.
But I think this is a really great one. If you have a Spider-Man that fits in your No Way Home collection, I think this is perfect. I mean, just the amount of accessories. I mean, some of these accessories don't even make sense. Like he has the Time Stone power rings that go on his arm, but he doesn't have the Time Stone anymore, so it doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah. I think it's the same with every and kind of toy that you pick up. They always seem to have one accessory that doesn't belong
Hey,
to that specific character.
I'm all for extra accessories.
All
You
right,
know,
I'm the same. But it's just kind of weird, is that you'll get a medallion that's not meant to be for that character. It's meant to be for this character, kind of thing. It's like,
yeah.
why is he got it?
I do kind of want this one. Peter, when he's got the box, he's wrestling it out, trying to keep it away from all the bad guys before his
Mhm.
suit gets upgraded. And you get this little chunk of fragment where he can stand on. So I mean, that looks really cool. But they also have a lot more. You got the Mando with just everything when he's carrying all the Mando's armor. You got the Mark V. There's like three different versions of the Mark V that they actually have on sale right now. You have the nanotech suit for Iron Man and War Machine. You got Armin. You got like a mech suit version, like an Iron Man suit version for Deadpool. That looks fantastic. Of course, we have what I think every Marvel fan should have is the battle damaged Iron Man from Endgame. This is one I would love to have in my collection. It's just like I said with the HasLab, it's the holidays. You kind of have to watch out with money, you know. Hold on one second. But
I was actually trying to get something there, but I'm not going to be able to get it.
I mean, this is definitely one I would love to have in my collection. It's just finances because I'm still holding out hope for the Ecto. I still hope that we're going to be getting Ecto, so I'm hoping that funds, but we'll see what happens. Um, with the
But
previous HasLabs, there's been a lot of last minute buyers. Uh,
this was technically my first. It's not a hot toy, but my sister thought she'd be a smart bugger, and she knew that I liked this movie when it come out, even though it's not the best. But she picked us up this a few
oh
years
my
back.
god, that that's insane.
As it says, like comes with a shitload of accessory. But my
Nice.
sister got this just as a giggle for my kind of thing. She says, "I know you liked the movie, and I seen this
Heaven
on Amazon."
forbid,
And she's
heaven forbid that Pam Anderson makes an appearance anywhere and you get that autographed. But I know a friend of mine has this, and this is kind of I mean. I have Endgame Cap, right? I have technically Endgame Ant Man. I have Iron Spider, which is in Endgame, so I kind of need Endgame Iron Man.
It's kind of weird because somebody's been talking about Halo figures for the last couple of weeks, and I've been looking for this guy for ages, and I've just found him.
Yeah, Ultra Carzilla I think has been doing the Halo stuff.
See, once I get my glass cabinets and that, I think I'm going to put that. I'm not going to open it up. I'm going to have that still in the box, just in the the thingy.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. We could sit here all night and go through everything, but there's some pretty awesome stuff. I know Dre has this one coming. Iron Strange.
I have been actually looking at the Harley Quinn and the Joker Hot Toys recently. Maybe something for next year.
That's what Dre needs. Dre needs somebody to make the portal ring behind Strange. You know.
Well, that would be that'd be cool. Maybe Duffman maybe do something like that.
Dre says that Harley looks great in hand.
I've been looking at the different versions of Harley kind of thing, and it's like that's kind of my next one. That's in my next figure I want to go for. But then if I get a Harley, then I have to have a Joker to go with.
And you manipulate the multiverse. You can choose which version of Joker you want to go with her.
I do like the Margot Robbie Harley Quinn as well, so I've been kind of looking at her. Now I've been looking at the classic version of Harley Quinn.
Now, this one, I received an email today from Sideshow because I was on the wait list for him. I have until midnight tonight if I decide to go for him or not. This is the integrated suit towards the end, and the diorama piece has like the pumpkin bomb. It has ox arms coming all over it. I mean, it looks good. It looks really good. But I sadly will be passing on him because, well, he's not exactly cheap. And I have other responsibilities. I gotta take care of some holiday shopping, of course. And he comes with the Iron Spider arms. Looks really good. Comes with all these different accessory hands. This is the diorama piece. So you get the cell phone, you get the soft goods mask that he can just hold in his hand. You get your basic webbing, whole assortment of hands, the different eyes, which are magnetic. And you do get his little glider webbing thing that is all magnetic as well. I mean, it's a great looking figure, but I'll be passing on it.
Just like recently, I don't know if you've ever heard the thing of cry. Is it Beast Kingdom?
I've heard of Beast Kingdom, yes.
See, I've been picking up these, Dave.
Okay.
So I've got the Wolverine, I've got the Miles, and I've got Gwen. But I have been looking at the 4 one as well. And the Magneto, because the Magneto one actually has glow up eyes. Same with the 4. You get the standard ones, but when you get the deluxe ones, when you get like an extra 2 or 3 heads.
Yeah. Dre's like, do it. Nope. I get it. Well, I mean, I don't have the money right now to go ahead and pull the trigger on it, so I got to do what I got to do. You got to collect within your own means.
This is
Um,
what I hate about this time of the year, Dave, is that you always seem to get a lot of good deals on, but then you
yeah.
forget is that right, I need to buy Christmas presents.
Well,
I need to get this
I'm
and I need to
hoping in a
get
few
that.
weeks to have some more money in my hand. So maybe if the sales are still going by that point in time, maybe things will be different. But we just have to wait and see. But like, I definitely am probably going to get the Vankman. I kind of have to. But that's the thing. They have him on Big Bad Toy Store, so all these other retailers have him. So I could potentially maybe pick him up or pre-order him later after that date.
Mhm.
So we'll see what happens. But yeah, again, it just seems like Hasbro seems to be one of those. It's a toy company that's not a toy company anymore. They seem to be outsourcing through everyone else. You can find more Power Ranger stuff or more this brand or more that brand all over on different websites. So I mean, there's something to be said about that. I was having a conversation with Dre of the Collector's Safe Space, and that's where this topic came up. It's like I said, you know, it would have made more sense if they launched it during summer or maybe around Ghostbusters Day, right there at the 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
I think that would have been amazing because they dropped the 40th, the O rings, the 3 3/4 figures, but and with their people there with the shirts and the pins on, I just thought like, oh, they're hinting at HasLab, but they can't tell us what it is. I mean, obviously they already had an idea what it was. They could have just done an on the spot like, hey, look, because there were several Ecto ones, 59 Caddy Cadillac replica Ecto ones at the firehouse that day. They could have easily had someone record the Ectos and have them standing there like, hey, look, we're here at Ghostbusters Day at the firehouse, and look at these amazing Ectos. Haven't you ever wanted to have an Ecto one? Well, now you can, and maybe they just like they then cut straight to the studio showing a
Yeah.
pre-edited clip of the launch, and I think that would have killed it because you had people in June, beginning of June. Graduation has even happened for a lot of families, right? You haven't gone on your summer trips. You had money, you had resources, or you could at least start to plan, right? But because none of that happened, they waited until the end of October, beginning of November to launch this. That
They
is
seem
what,
to be bad for that
huh?
because I'm sure they did that. Was it last year they did that with the Rancor as well? They just decided to do it
They've
just
done that
before
a couple
Christmas.
times. They've done that a couple times where they'll run uh, not all at the same exact time will they launch them, but they'll have HasLabs running continuously. They did that with the first Proton pack, I think, where they had this HasLab, then they had this, then they had this. They weren't all ending at the same time, but they were kind of overlapping each other. And that
Hmm.
caused a lot of questionability like, well, do I go for this or do I go for that? Do I spend my money on this or do I spend my money on that? So, I mean, that's the thing. It's been a really hard year, okay? But also, here's the other thing. A lot of Ghostbuster fans are prop lovers. They love props, okay? So, I mean, there's that. So I mean, there's a lot of different factors, but it also has question, has Hasbro and their executives not learned their lesson? I mean, we've heard recently of more layoffs with Hasbro in media in the past month or so, right? So it begs the question, what are they doing? Are the executives just lining their pockets? Do they want certain brands to not completely fail, but mostly fail to the point where they can justify leasing it out to another company, another vendor, another producer to go ahead and make that content, go ahead and make that product, but because they own the license, they can say, well, we're still going to get so much percent off of this, and now they don't have to worry about overhead. And maybe that's also, well, we don't have to worry about having a team for this line if we don't have a line, technically speaking. We own the line, but someone else is going to work it. So they're going to spend money. They're going to spend development money. They're going to spend trial and error. They're going to have production teams. We don't have to worry about that. So now we can sit back. We'll cut jobs. We'll
See,
line our
I've heard
pockets.
rumors
Huh?
about. I mean, I've heard rumors about the Playmates Power Rangers,
Yeah,
and I've
no,
heard that
Playmates is the one who's going to be running Power Rangers moving
I've
forward.
heard that the Playmates Power Rangers are actually going to be better than the Lightning Collection. But until we start seeing pictures and products,
Yeah,
we have to wait. But a lot of some folk have
but
actually
but
been like the preview
like
kind of hangings
with
when they've
Power
done
Rangers,
the
here's the
haircut on
thing:
there.
we know Mighty Morphin has always been the best-selling series of all time when it comes to Power Rangers.
Yeah.
But yet again, for some of us collectors, we've gone through 5 or 6 different iterations, maybe about 4 or 5 different iterations, not counting if you have the original figures, right?
Yeah.
So now we're gonna have to start all over again. That's no bueno. That's not fun. Having to start all over again. And who's to say that they're going to do it any better than anyone else has?
Yeah.
We don't know. They could really sink.
There's only one thing I can say is that with Playmates is at least you'll not have to wait months and months to get a Pacific, because it's like with the Lightning Collection, they would bring two Rangers from one season
Yeah,
or the Rangers for another season, and you have to wait 6 months before you get the other Ranger. So if you think about it, all the Lightning Collection stuff that they've done, Dave,
yeah,
I think they only completed 3 teams. So we never got the full. A lot of folk that have collected them don't actually have the full teams because the way they did it. I know with Playmates, is that Playmates will bring every figure out in the one go. So you're not having to wait 6 months to
yeah,
get Tommy, or get 6 weeks to get the red Thunder Ranger or whatever. You could go to the store and you know you're going to be able to pick up the whole team
yeah.
there and then
Well,
instead of
well.
having
See,
to wait.
also Playmates does nostalgia really well too. So my wondering is, are they going to go that route? Are they going to go try and reproduce everything that Bandai had? I mean, if they're going to do like the flip head Rangers, that's going to be a hard pass for me. Personally, that's going to be a hard pass because we've seen those over the past couple of years already. They've done the retro Rangers. Unless unless Playmates is going to push money to Hasbro, like, hey,
Well,
let us do a show.
it's kind of funny you said that, right? Because there's the original Pink Ranger,
There you go.
right? There's Hasbro's attempt.
Yeah.
So when you kind of look at them side by side,
Yep.
this one's a bit too chunky.
Yep.
But if you actually look at it, that's all the same Ranger bodies. Only thing different is the head bit. So if you look at the Red Ranger, if you look at the Pink Ranger to Zack, the exact same bodies,
Yeah.
just different from
Because you know why? Hasbro is Latin for repaint. Did you know that?
Hmm.
Repaint City. But that's the thing. It's like, seriously, when I was talking with Dre this past weekend, this really made me think, like, could there be someone or a few someones with Hasbro who are like, hey, we'll let them run with this, but we're just gonna sit back and let it just crash. I mean, I'm not one of those conspiracy people, but years ago, several years back, City of Buffalo added traffic cams in certain spots of the city. Well, we found out after the fact that the mayor of the time got kickbacks from the camera company for doing it. Right? So it makes me wonder, could this be a situation where maybe some other companies like, hey, we have an interest. We notice you really haven't done anything with Ghostbusters in, X amount of time. Hey, if that line really did start to fizzle out, we would like first crack at it. I mean, again, I don't want to be that conspiracy guy, but is that out of the realm of possibility? We all know rich corporate executives love to make as much money as they possibly can. And if they can sit back and get a good percentage without having to spend money on cost, on production, on R&D, on focus groups, if they don't have to spend money on that, but they can still get a good chunk of money from someone else and let them do it,
Yeah.
and still have the right to sell it on their site, potentially speaking.
We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago, me
Yeah.
and Dave. We were talking about is that Hasbro in the last couple of years they have taken far too many lines on, and I think they can't keep up with the demand for certain lines,
Well,
and I
I
think
mean,
that's why they've
what
decided
about
to
their
give away the
failed
Power Ranger.
what about their failed attempt at Indiana Jones this past year?
Yeah,
I mean, don't get me wrong, I had an interest in these, but it's like, well, wait a minute, you can only do so much. You only have so many characters, like Sala, and just I mean, you had Marion, you had, and you just I don't know, it just didn't jive well because they were mixing up the figures. Oh, we're gonna have some figures from the new movie along with figures from the first movie. It just seemed like it was just too out of sequence. They also did the
yeah.
same thing with Power Rangers. Why not just if you would have released them in waves? Okay, we're gonna do MMPR season 1 and 2, 1, 2, and 3. Bam. We're gonna do Zeo. We're gonna release that as a whole wave. Bam. Turbo whole wave. Bam. In space. Bam. You know, Lost Galaxy. Bam. We're gonna do if they did them in succession. Time Force, Lightspeed Rescue. If they did them as full waves, not just a figure here, a figure there, sadly, because the Lightning Collection folded, you have Ranger fans who were not able to complete their teams, and they won't
It's
be
just
able
like the
to.
first wave, like talking about Lightning Collection. Like the first wave, it was Lord Zed, it was
This whole bookcase,
Helge Kruger.
I have a
I
bookcase
can't
here.
remember who the first one was, but it was three different
Yeah,
seasons.
yeah. I mean, I have what 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves of Power Rangers Lightning Collection, and now I'm seriously going to go through them. Which figures I'd like the most, and the other ones are going to get bagged up. I don't know what I'm doing with them, but they're going to be bagged up.
Like
That's
I boxed all my Lightning Collection stuff up, but there is. I want to keep. I'll definitely keep the monsters,
I
but
mean,
like
well,
some of
see,
the
see,
Rangers, I
that's
might
the
just get
thing.
rid
When
of
I
some
had
of the
the
Rangers.
with the Lightning Collection, I kept the Ranger helmets on their heads because the head sculpts were rubbish. They're complete trash. But the monsters look great. Zed, Goldar. I mean, King Sphinx. I mean, you name it. The Tengu, the Tengu warriors. They look fantastic. So
Yeah, because I've
it's
got like Eye Guy, I've got Pugsy Peg, I've got King Sphinx, I've got Zed, I've got Goldar, I've
oh
even got
Jesus,
I've got majority of the turtle.
we lost an order. We were at 92.76. We're at 92.75 right now. We lost one.
I've got the
That's
I ended up picking up the Power Ranger crossover with the turtles when they actually went down in price. They're basically going on to clearance.
well,
The only one I'm missing is the Shredder, but I really want the Shredder
the
because that
turtles.
Shredder
The
does look
turtles have been
that
doing.
Shredder.
Turtles have been doing really well. Turtles have been doing really well. In fact, one of my friends was talking today that the nostalgia, the the reissues that Playmates is doing. It's hooking him in hook, line, and sinker. I mean, I can't fault that because I never had it as a kid, but I got the party wagon. I got the turtle van with the OG reissues of the original turtles because I had the original turtles as a kid, so that was just something I couldn't resist.
It's like
Playmates does nostalgia really damn well.
I have
I will give
a
them that.
local. I don't know how to describe B names to use to like the American guys, but it's kind of like in between maybe your Ollies and your Ross
Okay.
kind of thing. But recently, like last year, they were Super Seven. It's the first time I've seen Super Seven in like a discount store.
Oh, really?
Kind of thing. So I picked up a lot of the ultimates, like the turtle ones.
Oh,
But then it
okay.
started Japanese, I kind of went mental for this guy. I think I've got at least about 10. Is that I've always loved
Now,
the
see,
Cycerons from the Turtles.
I do like the Ultimates, the Ultimate collections of Power Rangers. They have limited posability. I will say that, but I like all the one-off things that they throw in there. I like how with Power Rangers they actually have it where the weapons can actually merge together. JT is in the chat. He said Hasbro should have given us more of the retro indie line. Loads of missing characters. Yeah,
So
definitely.
I had to end up buying two of this guy
Is that Slash?
slash.
Yeah.
So I had to have one so I could put on the shelf, and I've still got one boxed.
Let's see. Like I could easily go in. See, you know what I want them to do, and I would buy it in a heartbeat. I want them. Remember the cheapskates?
Yeah,
Remember, it was that board with the windmill thing with the big propeller fan on the back. You know, it was like a motorized skateboard with a big, huge flashlight thing on the front, and you had like
yeah,
the kick flip thing where you hit the foot that would knock people out. I had that as a kid. I would love to have that again if they did that. You know, I mean, I love the nostalgia turtles. It's just that at the time I was collecting other stuff, and that's the thing. Sadly, like right now, ultimately as collectors, it depends on what our space is, and I'm remedying that because I'm going to be taking out all those bookcases and putting garage shelving. But I'm able to fit stuff that would have taken 3 or 4 shelves and put it on one shelf.
yeah,
So I'm going to be doing that with my back shelving here, but that's going to allow me to kind of restructure my space, and I'm going to be hopefully able to add more stuff. But I mean, I think like because Power Rangers is such a deadline right now, you know, I think pivoting over to Turtles could be a thing. You know, I mean, Marvel Legends, we really don't get a whole lot here in Western New York in Buffalo. JT says talking Super 7. Does anyone know why Super 7 never made a Back to Future 2? Oh, I think you mean NECA. NECA was the one doing a Back to the Future line. They did Back to the Future 1 and 2, but they never did part 3. So you're thinking of actually NECA, because I have the NECA line of Back to the Future Doc and Marty from part 1 and 2, and yeah, they never did a part 3, and that's what a lot of people were hoping for was part 3. Doc and Marty, especially in the Western clothes, that would be perfect. You could do a couple variants of them, because I mean, hell, Back to the Future 1, they had what? We had Radiation Suit Marty, right? We had Marty at Battle of the Bands, and I think we had another Marty, which is him at with the skateboard going to meet Doc at night. So we had 3 Martys for that one wave. So yeah, NECA, yeah, that's a big argument why they never finished Back to the Future. I don't know why. I wish they would. Um, that's something I always wished, but it's like right now I think one smaller figures because I mean think about the turtles. The NECA turtles are fantastic. They're a good size, but the Playmates ones are only about this big. You know, so you can actually do a lot more with that, and they have. And plus, let's be honest, when you find a figure that you had as a kid, brand new, that totally takes you back.
See, I've been picking up the retro turtle figures when I can see them.
Yeah. See, I
Um,
haven't been finding as much because it's like they did that the new Turtles cartoon movie, and we see a lot of those figures at a lot of the stores. I don't see the retro ones as much. But you know what ones I wish they would reissue?
it's kind of thing is, I did say it myself. I'm not going to go into another turtle line, but when I seen uh, Rocksteady, I had to pick him up. He just looked so weird, Dave, from the
Oh,
Mutant
geez.
Mayhem. But technically, this is what Rocksteady should have looked like back in the day.
Yeah.
This was the proper art for Bebop and Rocksteady. Is that they're meant to be? I think if they'd done a Rocksteady like that back in the 80s, early 90s, I'd have picked it up no matter what. But I mean, these figures are a bit on the goofy side. I mean, the
Yeah.
articulation is not great on some of them.
Well, he looks like he would be really top heavy.
Yeah, but I just love the design with the big massive rhino head.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like the nostalgia. I think that's kind of what's really doing things right now is nostalgia. Like, oh, like we had the Mattel did a reissue of, um, Masters of the Universe. Now they're doing all these different Masters of the Universe lines, but people are jumping in on them. They're even doing the
See that?
crossovers. The Masters of the Universe crossover with
This was a couple of months
WWE
back.
with
I went to a
Metalhead. Yeah.
I went to a boots. It's a wee crowd on boot sales over here. They're like your flea markets kind of thing. And the guy only wanted £1 for that. So I grabbed it because it come with his backpack that you
Okay.
never normally see. And he had his belt. The only thing he's missing is the little antenna that goes on the top there.
Well, hell, you
And
can
his
you can get someone with a 3D printer to print one for you and then paint it.
and then all he's missing is his interchangeable hand. But when I seen that for £1, and when even the chrome that's on it's actually no bad for
Okay.
the year it is. So you can still find good bargains out there. You just have to look.
Yeah, you just have to look around. I'm actually going to wrap things up here. I want to thank Baz for coming onto the stream here. I want to thank everyone who's been hanging out in the stream. JT, Ultra Carzilla, Dre of the Collector Safe Space, of course, Mike Davis, Hey Archer, aka Nerd Affiliated. I want to thank Cat popped through the stream. We had Mega Dan Collects. We had David from we had David Light from oh, I'm blanking on David's channel now. He does like exploration videos and like local David's life. He was popped through the stream earlier. We had Peaky who only came through for just a couple minutes. We don't know what happened to him. He probably got swallowed up by somebody. I don't know. But next week, we don't know what's going to happen next week. It's it's going to be our Thanksgiving, our pre-Thanksgiving stream. So who knows what we're going to do. I do plan on doing some game streams relatively soon. So if you guys, I want to hear everyone's thoughts on what games would you like me to stream. I am going to be doing, I will be doing some Spirits Unleashed, some Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, of course. I do plan on maybe doing, maybe we'll try out, I don't know if I'll do Fortnite. We might do some other stuff. We might do some other games. But I want to try out a few different games first, see what the vibe is. And speaking of the Ninja Turtles, maybe we'll do Shredder's Revenge. I've done that a few times before, but I would love to have a couple of you guys join me along with it for a stream. Archer says Super 7 can't keep any line alive aside from Thundercats. I think for the most part, Power Rangers for the most part, but I mean, they've done pretty well with it. It does have limited mobility, but also, I think it also is, well, there's no active shows, and they're not stepping out from Mighty Morphin. They've stayed inside Mighty Morphin, but then again, they might have only had the license for Mighty Morphin.
Mm-hmm.
They might have just said, hey, let's see how this license works out first. I wouldn't mind some cartoony looking versions of Back to the Future. Because NECA was supposed to have some Back to the Future figures once upon a time from the animated show, but they only had like one or two pieces, and they never did like an ultimate version. They never did the DeLorean, even though they had a prototype for one. It never really turned into anything, so we'll see what happens. But that's the stream for this week, guys. I might do another stream later this week. I might do a game stream, so guys, keep that notification bell on. And as always, we're actually gonna be streaming on every platform now. With Streamlabs, I am actually able to stream on Twitch, TikTok, and YouTube. So we'll be streaming on 3 platforms. Maybe we'll get some new blood in the chat. Maybe we'll grow the chat a little bit. Trying to get those watch hours. Trying to grow the channel as best as we can. That's kind of like my Christmas wish list, if you will. But we're hoping for a few things. My camera was holding out this week, so we'll see what happens next week. Been having a lot of camera issues. Hopefully, maybe sometime in the new year, I'll be able to replace the camera with something a little bit better. Been having a lot of glitches with it. And by the way, if anyone wants to donate towards the channel, if you want to help us out financially, it's not required, but greatly appreciated. There is a link in the video description below to our PayPal if you want to donate. If not, that's perfectly fine. But guys, if there's ever anything you guys want me to check out, a new game, maybe some figures, you want me to pull something on the website, you want to have a chat, you want to discuss anything and everything, you guys know every Tuesday night is Tuesday Night Talks. It's an open stream where anyone and everyone can come on here. We are a hate-free zone. We don't discuss politics. We don't talk religion. We don't push any agendas on anyone. It's just an awesome time, a great hangouts, awesome vibes, and that's how we're going to keep it. But guys, I want to thank Baz from aka Dark Lycan. JT says cheer for the stream, guys. Awesome, appreciate that. And guys, you know what I'm going to say. I say it every single time. Keep on busting. And you know what I'm going to say. I say it every single time. I will always catch you on the flip side. Take care, guys.
Step into days and that shit so wild.